I just finished watching the Microsoft Windows 10 launch. Well, it's not really a launch, it's more like a presentation of what's to come. And for those who are in the inner circle, they're able to literally, download Windows and get monthly or, periodic builds that comes from Microsoft to test out some of the features and share their experiences. Unfortunately, I don't have a computer to do that on. I wish I, maybe had a, I would like to do it on another computer to test it on and test it out for myself. But I don't have an extra Windows machine laying around, so I'm able to do it myself. But just based off what I saw, I am very impressed. It seemed like it's going to be a wonderful Windows. It kind of reminds me of how XP went to Windows Me. Then, well, they have Vista. Let's get Windows Me. Let's not even talk about Windows Me. Let's go from XP to Vista and then to Windows 7. Um, when Windows Me came out, I guess we have to go back to Windows Me. They introduced the some of the NT features of Windows into the Windows Me platform to kind of get it updated and up to speed with how operating systems were going at the time. Windows XP was still a little bit behind on the current operating system, and a lot of webs, application developers, they were trying to make applications work for Windows XP, but also make it rich enough where it worked in Windows 7. So we weren't really moving forward, as I guess you can say. And so, one thing I do appreciate about the new Windows release is that we're going to see a lot of these applications moving forward go from, where after a year of Windows 10 release, people can upgrade for free on their computers, their phones, tablets. My wife and I, we have Windows 10 tablets or Windows 8.1 tablets, full versions on 8-inch screens, and we absolutely love it. It's a great addition. It's like having a little tiny computer at the palm of your hands. There are some limitations. The speed is not the fastest, but really and truly for basic computer use, playing Netflix, using Microsoft Office, even conference calls, when I get on Microsoft Link or I use Skype, I'm able to really take advantage of all the features that are within those programs. And I have very little problems with that. Um, our warranty for these devices end, like this month, and I think my computer ends in a couple months. And so I sent the computers in because there was a couple of problems like the buttons. It was more hardware than software. And the hardware, of course, is not Microsoft's fault. That's the the manufacturer's issues that I had to work out. And so they replaced the motherboard. There was some memory issues here and there, and so it was more hardware. My wife has a Lenovo, and I have a Dell, and we both had an equal share of some hardware issues that got fixed, and got fixed right away. In fact, I was without a computer or my tablet for maybe like a week and a couple days. I sent it in, they fixed it, and I got it back. And so it didn't take long for my computer to come back to me. So I really, really appreciated that. But that's besides the point. The point is that at least with Windows 10, if I pay for it within the 1 year time, I will be able to upgrade to Windows 10 without an issue. Now, what I thought Windows was going to do, I mean, what I was kind of actually hoping for from Microsoft was for them to make it where it's just called Windows. There's no more Windows 10, Windows 11, Windows 12. That would be out the door. I was really hoping for more of a Windows 10, and you would get updates throughout time. So, like maybe every 3 or 4 months, you get major releases, and you can sign up for first release on my Office 365 account. There's no Office 365 version 1, version 2, version 3, and so on and so forth. It's just straight Microsoft Office. Yes, you're working with, okay, on Microsoft Office 365. I got Microsoft Link 2013, Microsoft Office 2013, and so on and so forth. But what I was kind of hoping for was, yes, there will be a version number if you go to the About page, or system settings, and you look at the updated version. There'll be like, of course, 10 point something point something. You can see what version you have, just like when you go to About browser, like About Google Chrome or about Internet Explorer, you can see what version it is. But I was kind of hoping for was in the automatic updates that are done in the background, that you will slowly get updates over time, but it's still Microsoft Windows. There's no such thing as Windows 10, Windows 11, Windows 12. It will just be straight Microsoft Windows. It's not going to be that way. It's going to be strictly it seemed like it's just going to be Windows 10, and then of course when Windows 11 comes out in 2 or 3 years, it's going to be Windows 11, and so on and so forth. But I do like the fact that if I did get Windows 10 after a year on computers that I haven't upgraded yet, even Windows 7, I can upgrade straight from Windows 7 to Windows 10. And I guess Microsoft feels that the hardware on a Windows 7 computer is good enough for Windows 10 to run. Now, keep in mind, I can imagine that if you have upgraded from Windows XP or Windows Vista to Windows 7 and then try to upgrade to Windows 10, that may not be a good idea. But if you bought a computer with Windows Vista and you upgraded to 7 and then you upgraded to Windows 10, that might work. Maybe a little bit. If you're upgrading from Windows 7 to Windows 10 and the computer was initially a Windows 7 machine, then that may fare out better. And of course, Windows 8, it's going to be even better than that. Um, so I like the fact that after a year, I can finally upgrade all my computers and not have to pay a dime. And maybe at some point, Microsoft will see a need where there's not going to be a such thing as paying for your upgrades. It'll be like Apple with their OS X systems. You just upgrade it. You just wait for the upgrades. It's upgraded. Boom, you move on. So I do like that. I am seeing Microsoft moving in that direction. Maybe not right away, but it seems like that's what they're going to do. After 1 year, you can upgrade to Windows 10. It'll be free. You don't have to pay any additional costs. And I think that's going to fare out better for everybody because moving forward, we all have to move forward, people. And people who are stuck on Windows XP or Windows 7 and application developers are not going to be able to move forward because we're stuck in an old OS, and they're going to have to continue to design applications that will work in Windows 7 as well as Windows 10. And because they're catering to you, people, upgrade your computer after a year. It's free. Upgrade it. The system can run all your Windows 7 applications just fine. Just go ahead and do it, because if we go ahead and do it, if every single human being on earth upgraded to Windows 10 after the year for free, then application developers won't see a need to go backwards. They will see a need to move forward. And then we can move forward in technology in our human involvement, um, so that we can evolve and move forward and do new things. So I am definitely excited about Windows 10, but we can't move forward if we have a lot of people who are stuck in the back. And because Windows 10 is going to be free, and I'm wondering if it's going to be free for enterprise as well. I'm hoping for that. But let's say it is, then all these companies who are stuck on Windows 7 computers and they always complain about budget and they don't have the money to upgrade their computers, they'll be able to do it for free. And it won't be a big deal because Windows 10 is progress, is moving forward. It's we need to move forward. Stop. Don't stay in the background. Don't stay behind. Please move forward, because that's the only way we can take advantage of application developers to develop apps that will work specifically for Windows 10 and really take full advantage of it, and not have to develop a whole team of people to make sure that their application will also work in Windows 7. Luckily, hopefully, so far, I am so happy when a lot of people were mad. I'm sorry. You just have to move forward. People who are stuck on Windows XP is no longer supported. So therefore, application developers are still designing apps that works for Windows Vista because it's still a supported OS, Windows 7, and Windows 8.1. Um, so it's a good thing because now we're stepping into Windows 10. Windows Vista is going to be out the door in a couple years. So then we'll be still stuck on Windows 7 and above. And then in 2009, Windows 7 will end the support. I think it's 2009. And then we can move to Windows 8. So, yeah, let's move forward, people. Upgrade your computers, please. Windows 10 mobile. It's no longer Windows Phone. It's going to be Windows 10 for mobile. Is still going to have the same look and feel of Windows 8 and, of course, 7. Same feel, same kind of look. I guess maybe later on this year, Microsoft will introduce some new handsets. I'm sure, they're going to have newer, just like Nokia did when they introduced every single year, they had a new phone that was released. So Microsoft will probably continue that same vibe by releasing some new hardware for the Windows 10 phone. And I'm sure it will include Windows 10 phone out of the box. You don't have to upgrade it. Well, with that, those phones will be able to take full advantage of the OS. My phone, however, which is a Windows 8.1 phone, is it depends upon what new features Windows 10 is going to be able to take advantage of. There may be some things that this phone will not be able to take full advantage of in Windows 10. But I'm glad because I probably will not be able to buy a Windows 10 phone natively out of the box right away. I can still upgrade to Windows 10, take advantage of a lot of the features of Windows 10, and then when I do have, funds to buy the Windows 10 mobile phone natively, I'll be able to go to the store, buy it, and then I'll be able to probably take more advantage of all the features that Windows 10 has to offer for the new hardware. But I'm very excited about that. They didn't, in that presentation this morning, I just watched it. I got home from work and I just watched it, and very excited to see a lot of the cool things that are happening. One thing I do appreciate is, or one thing they did not do actually was that they did not show a whole lot of Windows 10 mobile. So it appears that they're still working on a few things. But one thing I do like is the fact that Microsoft Office is going to be upgraded. Microsoft Office has been the same since Windows 7, basically. They made a couple changes here and there, but it has not really changed. It still has the same look and feel. There's still not a lot of features within Microsoft Office on Windows Phone that made any difference, and it was still kind of behind the times. And I also didn't like the fact that there is no phone collaboration, real-time collaboration on Windows Phone. So if I open up a document, whether it was in a browser or in the Office app on Windows Phone, I basically opened up the document and saw the information that was last saved. So I'm able to collaborate. I can make the updates, but then when I back out of it, out of that app, it will upload that document, the entire document, back up to the, whether it's on SharePoint or OneDrive for Business, OneDrive, or anywhere else for that matter, that stores these type of documents. It did not necessarily have the ability do real time collaboration. I tried it and I couldn't find any articles online that suggested that as well. I was like, man, I don't know, I wish we had real time collaboration because on my wife's phone, my wife is an Android fan. She has an Android phone. She has a Windows 8.1 tablet as well, but she also has an Android tablet, a 7-inch. And on her phone, on her tablet, and on a computer, she was able to do real time collaboration. The phone was a little bit slower on the updates, but the fact is, it still can be done. So if I'm out and about and I really wanted to do some real time collaboration with my friend, I got to use my tablet for that. Open up Microsoft Office, open Microsoft Word, and I can real time collaborate with my friend. But I can't do that on my phone. So I was a little disappointed that when Microsoft hasn't done anything about real time collaboration for Windows Phone. And then they came up with the iOS app and, of course, the Android app for tablets and phones. And the apps for Microsoft Office looks a hell of a lot better, a lot more clean, a lot more up to date than anything that's on a Windows phone. And so a lot of people complain about that. I mean, and I was reading a lot of forums, and I'm like, yeah, people are wondering why Microsoft ditched Windows Phone users. So it seems like later on this year, at some point, and hopefully, um, I'm with Cricket now. I used to be with T-Mobile, but I'm with Cricket. Cricket was bought out by AT&T. I'm really hoping that when the update does come for Windows Phone, when I get Windows 10 on this phone, I will be able to update it right away. Of course, I have to wait for the carriers to allow that update to happen. I'm hoping that one day that won't be an issue. Maybe sometime Microsoft can say we can update whenever we want. Apple has had that pleasure of enjoying, um, when they are the ones that updated the phones, not the carriers. I'm not sure if that's different now since the phones do it themselves now without using iTunes. Have to look that up. But when it comes to Windows Phone, you have to wait for the carriers to release the update. In fact, recently I was able to update to the Cyan, um, Lumia, and now I'm waiting for Lumia Denim to update this phone so I can even have even more features. But unfortunately, my carrier is going to hold on to the update for a while, and at some point, Cricket is going to release it, and it's going to send me a notification saying I can update now. Great, but until then, I gotta wait. Unfortunately. So hopefully at some point I'll be able to do that. And I know that's going to be the same for Windows 10. I got to wait probably a few months before I can get Windows 10 on this phone, even after it's released. Xbox. I'm not a gamer, so I don't have a whole lot of comments about it. But I think I might get an Xbox when Windows 10 come out, and I would want it to be native. So when Windows 10 is released, I'm sure if I go to the Microsoft Store, I can buy an Xbox with Windows 10 already installed, and I think I would like that because your TV becomes the entertainment center. Yeah, I know. If I had a video card that had HDMI outputs, I could plug in my computer to the TV and there's my Windows 10, right? Very easy. I still kind of like the fact that in Xbox, I can do Skype on there, Skype for Business, Link. When Link turns into Skype for Business, I can do conference calls on it. So there are other features that I like about Xbox, and maybe I might get a game or two and play every once. I'm not a gamer, so it's not something that I do every single day. I don't spend hours on the game. If I do play a game, it's probably like an hour, and I'm done. And maybe 2 weeks later, I'll play a game. But I'm not really a heavy gamer. I did get into Ninja for about a week, and then I was done with it. I still got Fruit Ninja on this phone though. But and I even bought it. So I had it without the ads. But so Xbox, I probably will still get, but I'm going to wait for Windows 10 to come out before I get it as part of the phone. Some cool things came out with that meeting, with that conference. was the Microsoft Surface Hub. I think that's cool. Microsoft Surface Hub is a large screen TV, about 80 inches or so, and it's made for conference rooms, for businesses. And if I had my own business, I would definitely get one of these units because then that conference room can be our sketchboard for developing projects and collaborating with people who are not in the office. Maybe they're in a different country. I think it'll be a great tool. So I do like that Microsoft Surface Hub, and it's kind of like an updated version of Microsoft Pixel Sense, and before it was called Microsoft Surface, the Microsoft Surface before the Microsoft Surface. And so Microsoft Surface Hub, I'm happy that brought that name back for that reason. I do know that Pixel Sense is still a tabletop version of Windows, which I also like. I think that's kind of cool. A little tabletop. I can see that being like an artist, canvas, like a angled screen, and you can, take your pen and paintbrush around your paintings or drawings. No, I like that feature. I think that's a really cool ass feature. And so I can see Pixel Sense or maybe the new Microsoft Hub being that canvas for artists to design graphics or do some CAD work, um, or even edit some video. I would love to have a big ass screen that's angled up a little bit, where I have this huge screen that I could just move around dials and edit, audio, envelopes and clips and all kinds of stuff for my video editing. I like that, and I hope that will become something in the future that will be available. Um, Microsoft HoloLens, pretty interesting. I am a big fan already. I wish I can demonstrate it. Microsoft has. I was kind of hoping that they would have brought out Microsoft Band, that new watch thing they have for fitness. Maybe saying something about this is what we see in the future for Microsoft Band. Even if they just mentioned it, say, "Hey, we are in the works for a new Microsoft Band that will also include Windows 10." But they didn't bring it up at all. But if they decide to do some updates on it as well, I would like to see that. Now, I read some articles hearing that there was only a limited supply. You can't buy the Microsoft Band anymore, and I'm not sure if that's a reliable source I was reading, but I'll be very disappointed when I do decide to get a Microsoft Band so I can lose some weight, but also to monitor my health and all that stuff. And take advantage of that feature of this phone because this phone has, I do have Microsoft Health installed on this phone, which is you know, a workable app that works with Microsoft Band, and it works with your health app and Health Vault app as well. I'll be very disappointed that I won't be able to be able to use Microsoft Band because I won't be able to get it. So hopefully that's not true. I can just go to Microsoft Store, buy one, and use it. But maybe later on this year, um, Microsoft Band will have more watches, maybe different colors, different styles, some different features, maybe some added features, more memory, more stuff you can do with it, and maybe they will come out with a watch that is not just a fitness band, but a full-flown Windows Phone companion. So it'll be like having a Windows Phone on your wrist. That's also considered a health band as well. I mean, that's the kind of things I was kind of hoping. I was hoping they would mention that, but that wasn't mentioned at all. So that was cool. But the HoloLens, I did bring that up for a little bit. I like the idea. The demonstration they did on the floor, on the conference room floor, was pretty exciting. It's like having a holodeck wrapped around your eyes. It's not exactly the holodeck like you see in Star Trek, of course. Nothing like. I think that's a few years to come. But you know what? That is probably not far off. Until they can project images in midair using air molecules to create some type of force field to have where you can touch things and and navigate and interact within this hollow deck type of thing until they come up with that. And I know there's a Japanese company that is working on projecting images in midair, and that is still in the works. Very top secret, but it was on TV a few years ago that they're developing this kind of technology. And then once they come up with that, I can imagine at some point they can come up with a way to set up force fields so that you can have different textures. So when you reach out and touch that image, you actually feel the cloth or the skin or the wood or the leaf or the petals of a flower or whatever it is. And I said skin. Yeah, my mind was in the gutter. Okay, when I said skin, just imagine what you can do with that program. Remember Riker? There was a lot of programs I can think about. But anyway, Riker on Star Trek Next Generation, anybody who doesn't know. But anyway, skin, hollow projection, force fields, you get the idea. I can imagine that this becoming a reality. But until then, I think this is a good step. And it's a good step because once that particular technology is perfected, it's 1.0 at this time. Well, it's probably zero point 0.9. But once it's released to the public, it's going to be 1.0. Eventually, it's going to get to 2.0, 3.0, 4.0. And then over time, once we get to Windows 15 with Microsoft HoloLens version 4.0, it's going to be even more perfected. It's going to be even more exciting. At some point, the glasses will be smaller, probably add some sensory data so you can feel stuff like wind blowing against the skin. Maybe you can reach out and touch something and feel what your project's going to look like while you're working on your 3D project. I think stuff like that will be coming, and it'll be coming very, very soon. And I think the start to all that was Microsoft Connect, Xbox Connect, was a start in the right direction of interactivity. People can interact with their games. We all know that Nintendo had, those controllers that you hold in your hand so you can play tennis, and you just have to swipe up and down. You swung the controller and it acted like a tennis racket. Now you just use your hands and it controls Xbox to play tennis with your mate on the other side, with your playing mate. You can play bowling, you can do golf. I mean, there's a lot of things you can exercise even. Um, Connect was a good start in that interactive, type of control of your game. Well, Nintendo kind of started that part. So you have to give the props to Nintendo for starting it off. Like they came up with the idea and they took off with it. It was very popular for many years. And Microsoft came up with Connect, and now it's very popular. You can when you buy Xbox now, it comes with Connect. I think that's a good idea. Don't sell it separate, sell it together, so that forward progress, forward progress. I only got like a minute and a half left on this 30-minute recording. So, what I want to say is that I was very excited about this video on Microsoft's site. You just go to Microsoft.com. If you go to to Microsoft.com website now, being, as of the date of this video, you'll see a link to it. But just go to windows.com. If you go to windows.com, there's more information there, I'm sure. If you do a search for Microsoft Surface Hub, you'll find information about that. HoloLens, same thing. Just do a search in Google or Bing. Use Bing. I know a lot of you guys don't like Bing, but I do. And really check these new things out. I think you will like it a lot, and it's really fun, and it's exciting of the things to come. It's Was it a big thing, this little conference? No, not really. It wasn't humongous, but it was something. And there's a lot going on. And I really appreciate that. I am definitely looking forward to the new stuff that Microsoft's going to be pushing out this year. So this is going to be a big year for Microsoft. Let's see what Apple's going to do. I'm sure they're going to come up with some new stuff as well. I'm not going to sell Apple short. I know they're going to do some good stuff as well. Have a good day. Peace out. Shiz.